Going to give you a tour today of the two books produced in connection with Celestine's 175th birthday in 2018. We've got Celestine, Indiana History, 1993 through 2008, which is a 263-page documentation of the history. It follows up on the book written in 1993 that documented the history of the town from 1843 through 1993 for the 150th celebration. The second book is called Beyond the Calendar, which is a hybrid photo book, Perpetual Calendar, and also a collection of recipes. Obviously, books like these are maybe a little hard to understand what's interesting about them just in concept. Oh, it's a book about 25 years of the history of Celestine. But once you see the book in purpose, you'll see like, wow, there's a lot of things that have gone on in Celestine in the last 25 years. And a lot of useful and interesting information. We think these are great gift ideas and should be on the bookshelf of anybody who has roots in Celestine or in the Du Bois County area. There's a lot of community information, especially in the predecessor to this book that talks about the development of the Catholic heritage of the German American immigration to southern Indiana. But so we'll hit a couple of things here in the Celestine, the 2018 book. So give you a quick rundown of what the table of contents is. That would include our community, our surrounding area, our significant events, our businesses, our farms 100 years or older, our academic focus, our military, our humble dead, our church in the world, our St. Celestine Church, our new parish, our religious leaders, our faith journey, our intellectual outreach, our elders, our celebrations, and our sponsors. So I'll flip through. I've highlighted a couple of pages. So the book begins kind of talking about some of the things that are the key components of the community, which would include documentation of things like Celestine Community Club and who the officers have been, Celestine Fire Department, who officers have been, who have received scholarships from organizations, some great documentation of the history there. Another section I'll highlight is significant fires and incidents in that, like our volunteer fire department would have done, as well as the history of like additions of new pieces of equipment by the fire department. Then there is a history documentation, a section with historical events that happened in the past 25 years, including a great oral history about the tornado that hit Celestine on February 28, 2011, including interviews and documentations from a number of people who were victims. Also, there's a good coverage of the avian flu outbreak that happened in 2016 around Celestine and Du Bois areas that put us on put our area on very front page of a lot of news organizations, as that was a very dangerous incident. Then there's a extensive documentation of a lot of the local businesses. For example, here is a whole page, more than a page, about the founding of Happy Hour, since that happened since the previous book. Talks about what people do here in the local area, what businesses they are, large or small. We've got documentation of farms that are 100 years or older. For example, this is the Beckman farm that Luke and Leah Beckman now operate. Have a nice in-depth, history of the farm and who's been involved with it and the history and lineage. In the remembering those who are humble dead, there's a listing of everyone who's passed away from the community since the last book. Then as you move into the church, it kind of documents some of the things that have gone on both in the Catholic Church, the Diocese of Evansville, in our immediate parish, things that changes to the campus, the like. Our religious leaders talks about those who have served our church, as well as those who have come from the local area. There are sections about Father Tony, Father John Brosmer, and several of the others religious that have served in the community. So nice documentation of that history there. There's a good documentation about the different programs and leaders of those programs, people who received special awards and served on special groups and bodies. Really nice really nice documentation of that. And then probably my favorite section of the book is towards the back. It's a reflection from the elders, some of the eldest citizens alive here in 2017, 2018, that were interviewed and relayed, their remembrances and some of their wisdom to pass on to future generations. It's really an extensive recounting of the town's history and community history, and it also really documents the culture of what it means to be from Celestine. So it's a really, really nice book. It's a good read. There's a lot of information in it. There's a wonderful committee that worked on it. So this book is available. It is, let me check my notes. It's available for $25. And then the supplement book, the predecessor, A Sesquicentennial History from 1993, is also still available for $15. There is a bundle of the two books together for $35. So then the second publication that was made was done, it's called Beyond the Calendar, and it was led by the Girl Scout Team Troop number 60 and their leader Kathy Messmer, and it was created by Girl Scouts as a service project to document part of the history of the community, and that would include Elena Eppel, Courtney Viditow, and Emily Clark, amongst others, spent hours organizing photos and recipes to create this. So it's a loose leaf, spiral bound, full color, with a lot of pictures of the community. It is first and foremost what they call a perpetual calendar. So what you will see here is the month of January with days 1 through 31, but it doesn't say days of the week. So it's the kind of book that you can put things that repeat in it. Birthdays, anniversaries, special dates that you want to remember or memorialize, or you can use this as your primary calendar and write in, at 8 o'clock, I've got to be at this place, and erase it out once that date has passed. It's also got a ton of pictures in it, and they are tied to the seasons of the year. So obviously here in the wintertime, we are seeing winter and snowy pictures. As you move into March, we've got colorful springtime pictures. The pictures are really a great documentation of this is what the community looked like at this moment in time. And I think in time we will really enjoy looking back on it and seeing that this is what the community looked like in 2018. And I know I'd love to see a book like that from what Celestine looked like in 1993. Intermixed are a number of recipes submitted by people in the community, some Celestine favorites. So as you can tell, it's pretty extensive. There are some small historical kind of stories in it about some of the culture, especially related to food. So lots of pictures and documentation. So this book is available. It is $15, full color, and it's available both books are available at the St. Isidore Parish office or by contacting CelestineIndiana.com.